Then I'm just going to do a quick introduction, and we will get to it because it sounds like there's a
Did
lot
I
of
put them on?
a lot of spirits. Please mute.
I'm missing it. And I waited for this. Yeah. Should I just do it on my phone?
Who's speaking? Because we need people to mute, please.
I think it's Yolanda.
Mute, please.
Yolanda.
Oh, okay. I just got on.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just got on.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to mute everyone, and then Hollister, I'm going to have you unmute yourself, okay? Okay, I think that's good. Now, Hollister, you can unmute when I introduce you. I'm just going to do a really quick introduction because we have a lot to get to. Good afternoon, welcome. My name is Judy Kitt. I'm the president of the Foundation for Mind Being Research, which was founded 45 years ago by scientists and healers who were interested in the evolution of human consciousness. You can check us out at fmbr.org, and everything that we've done is on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel called FMBR TV, so you can check that out if you want. I'm guessing that most of you here know that Hollister Rand is an internationally renowned medium, author, and speaker. She provides specific messages from loved ones in spirit with feeling, heart, and grace. Hollister has moved national and international audiences with spirit messages at demonstrations of spirit communication and on television and radio. And now we just heard at improv, comedy improv shows. She has touched the lives of thousands of people, bringing them hope and healing. Hollister, she was here a couple of weeks ago. Welcome. And we had so many people that were interested in hearing what you had to say that we got to capacity really quickly. And so there were a number of people that couldn't join. And you were gracious enough to offer to do this again. So I want to note that this is the largest meeting that we've ever had registration for. I've had nearly 400 people register to be here this afternoon. So really, thank you for being here. And one of the things that you were talking about, I just want to say, for anyone who knows us, you won't recognize this background. I'm at my mother's house, and because I help take care of her sometimes. And Hollister, about 4 years ago during the pandemic, I gifted my mother a session with you. And so I set it all up. And you said during the session, you said, there is an extraordinary number of spirits coming forward here, and it's unusual. So you said, is there anybody in the house that's doing ancestor work? And it blew me away because I had just created for her an altar, a Day of the Dead altar. And I had photos of everyone she knew that had passed. And you told me that when you reach out to spirits, they feel it and they draw closer. So I just loved that message. I loved that connection. So welcome. Thank you for being here. Go ahead and unmute yourself. And if anybody wants, if you want to see Hollister, I want to just recommend that you put on your view, you put speaker view so you can see her larger than a thumbnail. So welcome, Hollister.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. And thank you, everyone, for showing up, you and all of your spirits. Now, I know everybody comes here with an idea of who is going to show up and exactly what that person's going to say. Unfortunately, I will not be able to give a personal message to each and every one of you on screen here today, but I ask that you listen, because what I have learned from the spirits is they're great organizers. I have spirit organizers. Thank you, Judy, for organizing on this side, and Zoom for making this possible. But the spirits are prime organizers, and they figure out what spirits will have the message that will touch as many people as possible. That being said, if I'm speaking with, let's say, Gilda, and it doesn't make sense to Gilda, but it does make sense to someone else here, would you put in the chat, oh, that spirit is for me? So that we do not miss a connection here as well. And then spirit will either lead me to you or they'll take me in a different direction. It's hard to know. But one of the things that's important for everyone on this call to understand is that their loved ones are with them. Your loved ones are with you. They are not sitting here with me in my office. So I would just ask that we pause for a moment and remind ourselves, my loved ones are with me. Just allow yourselves to soak that in. I do not hold your loved ones captive. You have your loved ones with you. So just know that even if you don't get a personal message here today, it doesn't mean that your loved ones opted out. I can tell you that's not the case, because before I even got on here, I started to get a list of spirits because they wanted to organize this in a very good flow. So we've got that all handled. I work at the frequency of love, which means only the good spirits are allowed in here. So I just want you to know, no oogly googlies or boogeymen are allowed in. If a spirit shows up with whom you had a difficult relationship, if they're here speaking with me, they've had a change of heart. Death is called the great transformer for that reason, because when we die, we have the opportunity to feel how our lives have affected those we've loved and those we've wounded. So with that, let me start with a blessing on our time together. Dear friends and relatives in spirit and guides who are here helping us to do this work today, for I know we didn't do it alone. Thank you so much for this time together. And I ask a blessing upon it. I ask that you would use all of my abilities to see, hear, smell, taste, and feel, so that I might give as clear a message to as many people here today as possible. Thank you so much for the opportunity to do this work. We do this work in divine love, asking your protection as we do it, and so be it. And also, this is a work of mutual respect. If you would prefer not to receive a personal message, if you don't want me coming to you, turn your camera off. That's my signal and the signal to the spirits that that is not the way to do this. I do for you. I do private sessions. I do smaller groups. So there are always ways to experience this in a more private, personal way. So this is not the last time you and I will be speaking. So Peggy, may I start with you? When we were setting up here today, I heard the name Effie and saw a Pomeranian. I saw white and black. Now you had a white Pomeranian, is that true?
That's true. Yes.
And you have Effie as a relation, but far removed, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
But you have been thinking about family, and you've been thinking about family connections, and you've been thinking about ancestors. Isn't that the case?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just as Judy was saying, when we think about ancestry, when we think about those who came before, when we're looking to ascertain our place in the family, and the legacy of the family, we will often call in these spirits. So the first spirit I heard was Effie, and that's that's kind of a weird name, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And so there's a reason why spirit would choose that. It's unusual, and it's also related to your connecting with a wider family. So this is the other thing that I want everyone to know here, is that it isn't just those loved ones we personally know who are interested in our lives. It is everyone in our ancestry, those we know and those we don't, who will show up. Now, this Pomeranian, I just want you to know, Peggy, this Pomeranian is very opinionated. So, I'm all that in a bag of chips. You know what I'm saying? This Pomeranian has no issues with not trusting ego. So I just want you to know, this Pomeranian has wide eyes watching you, looking at you, never taking my eyes off. Do you remember that?
I do. I remember him as very sweet. He was a very sweet dog. And that doesn't necessarily fit what you said earlier about
what is interesting is he likes sweets, he tells me. So he was very interested in whatever treat came his way. All right.
Yes.
So if he is not the dog with the ego or this sense of I'm a big dog in a little body, we do have that dog. And if that
Okay.
dog doesn't belong to you, that's okay. There may be another Pomeranian who is also with yours. So we may find out who that Pomeranian belongs to.
Okay.
There is also a lady here giving me the sense of a mother figure. So you have a mother in spirit, do you not?
Yes.
She
Yes.
comes here with books for you. So this
Oh.
idea of reading, learning, teaching, very important. You understand that.
Yes, I understand.
Did she want you to be a teacher as well?
She wanted me to have an education,
Okay.
and she was supportive of me being a
Okay.
teacher.
Because she is very, very interested in that, in education and teaching, which is interesting. So you may find yourself now looking at sharing knowledge or leaving behind some sort of knowledge. So, because there's a sense of a researcher about you, a,
Yes.
scientific way of thinking that you have. Do you understand? She
Yes.
gives me this idea that science is very important to you.
Yes.
And sort of tracking science, understanding science, seeing
Yes.
how it really may apply to the metaphysics. You're
Yes.
really interested in that. So near-death
Yes.
experiences could be of interest to you.
Yes.
This
Yes.
idea of standing in between life and death, and what do those who didn't quite die have to tell us? You understand?
Yes.
So you may be consolidating research or evidence of consciousness moving beyond death. That could be of great interest. That's not a surprise that you're here on this call here today.
Right.
But what is interesting is that sort of thoughtful engineering mind, that research-oriented mind comes very much from father's side of the family, by the way.
Yes.
Because there's a man here who shows up, says father, and talks about engineering and science and higher education and a master's and all of this kind of thing. So we have a father here who says you think like him.
Yes.
So you and he have a melding of the minds.
Wow.
I have to laugh. He just called you my boy. I know he doesn't mean my boy, but I think he may have wanted a boy or maybe they thought you were gonna be a boy. I don't know, but there's this idea of you are the boy he always wanted or something. So he loves that you have this shared way of thinking about life.
Yes. Yes.
And so your father joins you. Your mother is the education part of this. It's all about getting your education and educating others. Your father is all about the way your mind works. And so he joins you on the journey of curiosity. That's where he joins you. So if you get these ideas out of nowhere, like, well, where did that come from? Or a book falls off the shelf, or someone recommends something, you go, yes, I have to take a look at that. That's your father.
Yes. Yes.
He's intrigued by this.
Yes. Go ahead. When I was a little girl, I was very curious. And when I asked questions, when I asked why, he always told me. He always answered.
Do you understand? This is why he's bringing up curiosity. This is why he's using that word, because that's where the two of you meet. He celebrates your curiosity, and he is the one who's bringing the answers to you, just as he used to. And the things that maybe he couldn't explain here on this earth plane, he will help you explain with his inspiration from spirit. So that's why he's on board with this. This is fascinating to him. All right. By the way, he says, I just wanted to drop dead. But at the end of his life, he wanted to just go like that. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. And he did.
You understand? This is a man who knows what he wants and gets what he wants. All right. Do you understand? I just want to drop dead. And he did.
Yes.
Okay. So he's very prepossessed. And he lets me know that in that way, you have that presence of mind as well. And you can set things up in your life because it gives me this idea of you're looking at your life. What's next? How do I manage this?
Yeah.
How do I live my life from this point on? How do I remain as independent as I can possibly be? Independence is very important to you. And that's
Yes.
what he lets me know. He says that you have the presence of mind to set that up for yourself. There is so much love from this family, and even Effie, God bless her, okay, who was a firecracker and who, oddly enough, may have had that other very egotistical Pomeranian. You would have to research dead Pomeranians in the family to maybe find,
Yeah.
but you might not be the first in the family to have a Pomeranian. And they're not that common a breed, I don't think.
No,
So just know this family loves you, stands behind you, supports your independence, your curiosity, and brings the answers you seek. And may I leave you with that?
Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Um,
Thank you, Judy.
so Elaine Rogers, may I come to you, please? You can unmute yourself. If you can unmute yourself.
Got it.
Okay, perfect. So we've got Elaine. Elaine, are you in the blue?
Yes.
Okay, and who else do we have with you?
Sheila. Sheila
Hi,
Wolf.
Sheila. So nice to meet you. And there was some guy who wandered in. Was he just a lost soul?
Yes, my husband, the lost soul.
Okay, but he has a father in spirit, does he not?
He does have a father.
Mr. Lost Soul, may I speak with you, please? Do you mind? You sort of wandered in, but there was a reason for that.
I'm the technical representative.
Okay, well, that's all right. Your dad wants to say hello if that's all right with you.
Okay.
All right, this is not something he would normally do. You understand? This is not his thing, your father.
Look at the TV.
I agree.
Yeah, and so this really may not be your thing either. I mean, your father stands there like this with me. All right? He's like, okay, lady, what do you got? So your father believes in hard work, providing for the family, doing well by your family. You understand that, right?
Yes.
Okay. He says, I know what it is to be a man, and I raised my son to be a man. And so he wants you to know that there is this level of pride that he carries for what you have done in your life and what you have accomplished. It's funny that you're wearing a Navy shirt. He just said Army-Navy game to me. So I don't know what that's about. But do you also have Army people in this family?
No, all Navy.
All Navy, because that's really interesting. He just said Army-Navy game. Like there's the fight between Army and Navy. I'm not sure why he would bring that up.
I'm not either.
The pictures.
Yeah, no, that's okay. And we may not know that. But do not be surprised if the family gets invited to an Army-Navy game or if there's something along those lines. He's also giving me the name of Joe, J-O. Who is that, please?
Your uncle, your grandfather.
My grandfather and my uncle.
Okay, so he is there with grandfather and also uncle, I do believe. I believe your uncle is in spirit as well. So we've got the two Joes and your father.
Yep.
All right, they're all together, the triumvirate of men. So these are men who love the family. And they want to thank you for carrying on the family name. And you don't have Joe as your middle name, do you?
No.
Because they're talking about Joe as a middle name or still being here on this planet. So if it's not yours, it may be someone else's in the...
My son's middle name is Joe.
Okay, so that's what, do you understand that we've got three men? We've got grandfather, father, uncle, Joe. We've got two Joes talking about the family names continuing and Joe being a middle name. They are so pleased that your son, because this is now 4 generations, do you understand?
Yep.
4 generations that we have here. And the pride that these men have in family, it brings me to tears. So thank you for wandering in and getting in the crosshairs, so to speak, of the spirits. And
Thank
thank you
you.
for your willingness to talk with your father, grandfather, and uncle.
Thank you.
All right, may I leave you with that?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And Elaine and Sheila, may I quickly speak with you? Because
Yes.
isn't there a Cara or a Carolyn who's about to be born?
We have a Caroline Page, who's about to be born.
Caroline Page is about to be born. Okay. Yeah, because spirits were giving me this name, Carolyn and Caroline. So, and is there also a Carol or a Carolyn in spirit?
No, not that I know of.
Then they're talking about this little one. They're talking about the one who's about to arrive.
Okay, so my son is in spirit. And
Okay.
my daughter-in-law, Danielle, just went to a Reiki doctor or something. And she told her that there's something special about this baby, that somebody in heaven.
Okay. Do you understand that that's why I was getting the name for this baby? That this is, that there's this sort of blessed quality of this child. And so is this child's father in spirit then?
No, she
No.
had remarried and the father is on the earthly plane.
Okay. Well, that's interesting because I also just heard father in spirit. So this may be your father in spirit. Is that the case?
Could be.
Okay. But you also have a son in spirit, correct?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. We have your son also has a friend with him, by the way. I just want you to know. So and I don't think there was a lot of time to say goodbye to your son.
No, it was
Because he gives me this feeling I got over there just like that.
Yes.
Now, Judy, it looks like you made me the main screen.
I did. Oh,
Okay, and
is
I
that-
can't see
Now you can't
Elaine
see everybody.
right now.
Okay,
She
I will-
has, so I can remove the spotlight. Is that true?
I will do it right now.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, so now I can see you, Elaine.
Apologies.
Oh,
Because your son gives me this feeling there was no time to say goodbye.
he had a acute dissection of the heart.
Yeah, just like that.
Yes.
So, and he says he lived his life very fast all the way up to the end.
Yes, he
That's
did.
what he says to me. So he did so much in a short period of time. You understand that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a guy with no regrets, he tells me. Because in your mind, you keep saying, oh, you could have done this. There was this to do. Your life was ahead of you. There's this kind of narrative that you've got going on in your head. Isn't that the case?
Yes, he was going to get his doctorate in cancer immunology. So
Yes. So you're thinking of all the things he could have done.
yes.
And what he wants you to know is he is still doing those things.
Wow.
Who do you think is inspiring doctors to do certain research? Or who do you think is behind inspiration or sudden understanding or communication between different doctors in different countries? It's going to be your son.
Oh, that's
And this is the thing. When we die, we do not end our mission in life. In some ways, it's only beginning. So your son is able to accomplish and do all of the things you had hopes that he would do.
Thank you.
Because one of the things he always understood is that we are up against physical death. And his whole purpose in life was to elongate life, was to defeat death in some way. And so the irony is not lost on him that he realizes that in some ways he was fighting against his own clock of time of death. There was something within him. He always knew it.
Wow.
So that's what he wants you to know. That's why he had such an interest in this, in standing between what could kill someone and elongating their life. So he has not ended that interest, and his mission continues. And may I leave you with that?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, Debbie Young, may I come to you, please? Because before we started here, I heard the name Jamie. Jamie is your son. And I also heard fentanyl, accidental drug overdose. And Jamie, your son, has a friend who died that way, correct?
Correct, but Jamie is my nephew who is he's very close to me, like a son.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. For spirit, like a son is a son.
Yes.
And I just want everyone to know there are no exes. So you can give up that idea. My ex-husband, oh yeah, not in spirit, because when we meet the spirits, they come in the present, the eternal present moment, at that time when we loved them and they loved us and that kind of thing. So the spirits speak to relationship and connection and love, not legalities like stepbrother, stepsister, half, they don't pay attention to that. So I just want you to know the spirits, or at least Jamie's buddy, sees you very much as Jamie's mother or a mother figure for sure.
Okay.
All right. So does that make sense to you?
It's a female. It's a female who passed.
Okay. A female who passed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's also a male who passed here. So I just want you to know there's a male with them as well. And now I've sort of lost you. Hang on. Can you wave your hand at me? There you go. Okay, Debbie, great. You also have a mother who has passed, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Was she a difficult person?
No.
Okay, because there's a difficult lady then with her. Someone who had a critical voice, by the way. So this may very well be her own mother or an aunt.
Could be either one.
Because your mother gives me the feeling that life was not easy for her.
Correct.
And she had many challenges that she had to face.
Yes.
And so she ended up having to pick up the pieces and manage a life when those around her could not show up for her. Do you understand?
I do.
And so what she lets me know, by the way, Debbie, do you know the name David or Dan? She just
David?
mentioned that. Yeah.
My husband's name is David.
Okay. And is he on the earth plane or did he pass as well?
No, he's here. He's alive.
Okay. Then we may have relatives of his. Is his mother also passed?
Oh, yes, she is.
Okay. So we've got two mothers.
She was very difficult.
All right.
His mother
All right.
was
So do
very
you
difficult.
understand that your mother is pointing and going, the difficult mother over here. And when we didn't get where it fit, we get the name David. All right. We've got David's mother here. Difficult lady. Okay. So we've got your mother is so funny. She's like a snitch in spirit. It's that one over there. Let's give the name so we know whose mother that is, because it isn't me you're talking about. Okay. So, but your mother lets me know life was very difficult for her.
It was.
And it was very challenging. And she wants to thank you because in some ways you and she were friends, she tells me. There was this sense of deep friendship that the two of you had, almost like you and me against the world.
Yes, it was that way.
And that's what, because I'm hearing that song, You and Me Against the World. She is just, by the way, she's also showing me a music box or a little thing that opens up and plays. Do you still have that?
I do.
Okay. Because she says, play that and you will hear me. You will hear me humming. You will hear me singing. Music is important to your mother.
Very, yes.
And so she's showing me a piano. She's rolling a piano out here. Like she wants you to suddenly play.
We had a piano and we took lessons when we were kids, and she played the piano beautifully.
Because she loves that. She loves the piano. Yes. So if you hear piano music, if you hear music box music, any of this will remind you of your mother. So she comes, that's where her joy was. There were two places where your mother found joy, in music and in you. You are your mother's joy. That's what she tells me. By the way, did you just get new glasses or do you need to get glasses? Because she's bringing up your glasses.
I actually need to get new glasses.
Okay, that's why she's bringing it up. She's like highlighting your glasses. I'm like, okay, I'll mention the glasses. Okay. Now, people might wonder, why do the spirits bring up little things like glasses? Why does that matter? Why don't they give us the whole meaning of life? Well, that is the meaning of life. The meaning of life is love and connection. And only those people who care about us and care about our life are going to care about whether we need new glasses or not. And that's why these details are important. Do you understand?
I do.
She knows, she hears your thoughts. She wants you to see clearly because your mother took a fall, she tells me, toward the end of her life.
Oh my God. Yes, she
That was
did.
very serious.
Yes.
And that may have been the beginning of the end for her.
Yes, it was.
That's what she says. So, honey, you have to be able to see where you're going. Do you understand? This is what she's, because she took a fall which led up to her dying.
It did.
Okay. And so, with her love for you, she wants to be sure you're doing everything you can to be able to see, be able to hear, be able to move, you know, mobility. She's talking about mobility with you. So, this is also going to be important, that you are able to move through the world and you keep yourself active in one way. So your mother did not like the end of her life. Let's be very clear about that. By the way, she wanted to die with red lipstick on.
That makes sense.
Okay. So she was very irritated that she died ugly in her version of death. Okay. I think she wanted her hair coiffed, her lipstick on. Do you understand? This is a lady who did not want to die without being done up.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was 80 years old and she always had lipstick on. Always.
This is what, so this is how she comes to me. The woman looks like she just stepped out of a bandbox. Do you understand? And she's dancing. Your mother is dancing. So she used to dance when she was young.
She did.
And so she's dancing now. No more broken hip, no more immobility. She's dancing. And there's life and there's love. And she is celebrating her life. She wants you to know that she no longer lives in heartbreak. And she says she wants you to always appreciate and invite joy into your life.
Yes.
Now, David's mother, difficult lady, but she can come in love here today because there's been a change with her death, but there's a critical voice with her. Do you understand? You know, she's very judgmental and critical when she was here on this earth plane.
Yes.
And, you know, I have to say, nobody would have been good enough for her son. Are we clear about that?
Yes.
Okay. So she is here today to say she's changed her mind. And you, Debbie, have proven yourself worthy of her son. And may I leave you with that, my dear?
Absolutely. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you. Now, I want to know if anyone has any general questions about life, death, spirit communication, or that kind of thing. You can write it in the chat box. I don't know, Judy, if anyone has been writing any questions.
Yeah, some things when you know, a surprising number of people have Pomeranians, actually.
Who had the black and white Pomeranian?
There's no black and white. The fawns,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's great. Pomeranian salute. That's really funny.
Okay, so here's a question from Vicky. How soon after someone passes are they able to communicate?
Immediately. And so there are reports. I remember I did a session for a lady whose son, she was on the phone with him as he was driving to her house. They hung up and he said, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Between the time he hung up and the time he was supposed to arrive, he hit a tree while avoiding a deer and died. And she opened up her door thinking it was him. He was not there. And the next thing she knew, the police were contacting her. But he showed up at her door. So and in the session I had with her, he said, I wanted to be the one to tell you. I did not want you to hear it from the police. Now, as mediums, mediums used to say, 3 months, 6 months before the spirits need to recover from their death, and we need to have this time go by. I realize now that time was not for the spirits. It's for us. Because of grief and pain and angst and feeling grievance around someone's death, that can actually stand in the way of spirit communication. And this was spirit's way of preventing disappointment with mediumship. So that amount of time is often important for us. But one other time, I remember I was doing a spirit circle in Maryland in some lady's basement. And there were two women. I did not know they were sisters. They were sitting across from each other in the circle. And I came to one and a mother showed up. And then the same mother showed up for the other one and talked about a disagreement that they were having about her funeral. And I thought, wait a minute, didn't they have the funeral? The mother had died that morning. And the sisters were arguing over the funeral arrangements. And so this mother was giving her opinion. And I thought that was hysterical. It was so funny. But just so you know, it's not the spirits that are withholding their presence from us or need some sort of adjustment period. It's really they're taking our personal needs into account and preventing adding insult to injury. You know, you then go to a medium and, oh my God, now they don't even show up for me here. So that's where that comes from. I hope that answers the question.
We have a number of questions. And you spoke to this a little bit. Do people lose their negative characteristics after they pass on?
Some almost immediately, some maybe not. But there is the opportunity for everyone to deal with their stuff clear on. And that's not always a popular understanding of afterlife, because there are some, and this happened when I spoke with someone in a family who had done such damage to the family that they could not accept that he could come in love. They did not think he was capable of it, which he was not here on this earth plane. He was not capable of loving action on this earth plane, but death had changed. You see, he had a brain issue. He had a mental illness. And when we die, our brains, our physical brains and the maladies of those brains will leave. So if someone has Alzheimer's, they no longer have Alzheimer's after they die. And so why is it that we think that someone with mental illness or a brain that does not allow for love to be expressed or for empathy to be present, why that would not also allow someone in spirit to begin to express those characteristics? So yes, physical character, like we just had Debbie's mother dancing. The woman who had a hip issue or a fall lead to her death is dancing. Thank you very much. And she's able to show me that because there's restoration when we die.
How about if someone has reincarnated, are they still available to communicate in spirit with loved ones?
I love this question. And this is one of the questions in my book, Everything You Wanted to Know About the Afterlife, but we're afraid to ask. I put that question in that book because I get it asked every time.
Wow.
And so what I will say about this is that because I have clients all over the world, I can speak to this question with a level of personal experience. When I speak with my clients in Asia, people die and reincarnate like that. I mean, it's crazy. I had a client on the phone and I said, "Oh, grandfather's here." And they went, "Yes, he is. He was born yesterday." And I went, "What?" Their grandfather had died, and then they had a birth in the family, and the kid had the same birthmarks as the grandfather. Well, it turns out the person who was speaking to me was actually grandfather's brother. So an uncle was talking to me, and when he said grandfather's here, he meant, yes, grandfather's here on the earth plane. And they all acknowledged it. And I went, wow, okay. So, but here in, Western Europe, in the West, and in America, and especially in America, People who come to America, there's the idea of freedom, of stepping off the karmic wheel, of having personal autonomy, of choosing your own destiny, that kind of thing. That will pause this sort of karmic wheel and allow groups to incarnate together. So I find that in the East, where there's this interest in ancestors but being born quickly, they will do that. Here, there's a level of independence. And what I hear from the spirits is, I will wait for you. So this is the thing. Death and life and reincarnation, it is not like a revolving door at a hotel. It's not like, oh, we go out, oh, we come in, oh, we go out, oh, we come in. No, it's like, oh, there's my group outside. Let me get to them. Okay, are we all staying at this hotel? Then let's all go in. So that's kind of how it is here in the West. I hope that helps.
I love
it is not set up so we miss our loved ones.
So there's a question about about loved ones meeting us, when we make our transition, also about pets. There's a lot of questions about pets meeting us when we cross the Rainbow Bridge.
Oh, yes. Well, sometimes I take issue with the Rainbow Bridge. Not that I don't like rainbows and not that there isn't a bridge, but the idea of all the animals on this bridge waiting for us. My experience with animals is that they're with us, just like our spirits are with us. They're not in some place waiting for us, and we don't have to go find them. They are with us. And often they are the way that I get to someone. And I'll give you an example. We had someone on the call last time named Julie. And I don't know if you remember this, Judy. I came to her and I said, I'm seeing a 3-legged golden retriever. And that's, and that seems to be around you. And she said, no, I don't know anything about a 3-legged golden retriever. Well, then we did find a person who had a 3-legged golden retriever in spirit. Well, I heard from Julie afterwards, and she had an interesting story to tell me. So Julie, are you here, and can you unmute yourself, or can you find her, Julie Weber? Because I'd love for her to share this story.
I will look for her. Julie, if you're here, go ahead and unmute, and otherwise I'm scrolling down to see if I can find you.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, there you are.
Yeah. So yes, it was interesting. So my husband was with me when Holly had mentioned about the golden retriever, and he and my son did something just a few hours after that. And he was talking to my son, telling him about the 3-legged golden retriever. Well, one thing that Holly did not know when she told me this is my son does have a golden retriever, but she has, all of her 4 legs. During the conversation with my son and husband, after my husband told him that Holly said there was a 3-legged one prancing around me, my son just looked at him with disbelief and said, last night I had a dream that Rhea had 3 legs. And so it was just, yes.
So Julie didn't know that. So when I came to her and I said, there's this 3-legged golden retriever around you, had she talked with her son and knew about this dream, she'd be like, yeah, that's weird. I understand the 3-legged golden retriever. And then spirit, may have had other messages. Now, that's not to say that Julie's son's dog is going to end up with 3 legs. That's not to say that she won't. But what it does say is that it's not random, that there is connection, and that should something happen to one of this dog's legs, that spirit is in the know and is present and supporting that. So I think that was really intriguing to me. So thank you, Julie, for sharing that story.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you. Thanks.
And by the way, you have a father in spirit, do you not, Julie?
No, not my father.
Okay, that's interesting. There's a man here. Hang on. There's a man here. Wait a minute. There's a lady here talking about your father. That's what this is. Your father may be missing someone so terribly that he does not know how to go on. Does that make sense to you?
It
And,
makes
and
a
you
lot
may
of
even
sense to
be
me.
worried for him. You may even be worried about his welfare, that he might just not want to stay very long or something like that because he wants to join this person. Is that true?
That's true.
Okay, because I have
Yeah.
this lady here. Oh, I'm getting such chills. Woo. Okay. Ugh. I have this lady here who she's all about family, by the way. It's family,
Yes.
family, family, family. She wants babies in the family. She's all about more babies in the family. So that's what she wants. She wants, more children. Can we have more children? And she thought you were going to have a girl, by the way. She says,
Oh.
there's this idea of she was waiting for a girl baby. But now is there a girl baby in the family?
Yes, I just had my first granddaughter.
So she's delighted with the girl baby. Do you understand? She was waiting for you to have a girl, and now there's a
Yes.
girl baby, and she's so excited.
Yes.
She's so excited.
Yeah.
She was tired at the end of her life, your mother. She tells me she was so exhausted. And I have to tell you, she's kind of like the Energizer Bunny, very, very busy, very, she's that busy kind of person and always doing something. And oh my God, I feel like, I picked up my drink to drink and she wiped under it.
Yes. Yes. She did. She was very clean.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. There isn't even a circle. I even have this underneath it, right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everything
Yeah.
has to be very neat with her. I got to tell you, the afterlife is a very neat place with your mother there. So,
Awesome.
so she loves your life now, she tells me. And are you thinking of retirement, by the way?
Yes, I am.
She's liking that for you. And
Yeah.
even if you don't retire fully, there might be a more targeted way that you do your work, like for 2 or 3 people instead of a group of people. Do you understand? Specialty care or specialty teaching, or do you know what I'm saying? It feels like a smaller where you make your own hours and you do your own thing and you do it according to the way you want to.
Okay.
So it may not be that you totally pull the plug on it and say, I'm retiring completely, but you may choose to do it differently. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah. There are a lot of possibilities in my field for doing that. Yes.
Okay. Your
Yeah.
mother likes that for you, where you choose what you're doing rather than having someone else making your life miserable. That was actually what she said, making your life miserable. So that might be a phrase
Oh my
that she
God.
used to use.
It is. And she is very accurate on that right now. Yes.
Okay. So, because she would really love for you to spend even more time with family and also have freedom to go and do what you want to do and just have your own peace of mind. That's what she talks about. So much love here. By the way, your father didn't sit on his glasses and break them, did he?
I don't know. Not that I heard of recently. But
Okay. Well, she just showed me a chair and someone sitting on glasses like they were broken or the one little side fell off or something.
Okay.
So, she's watching out for him. She's watching out for him.
Yeah.
She says he's not eating the way he needs to, by the way.
Okay.
So make sure he eats well. I do think she put good food on the table. You understand?
Yes, she was a great cook. Yes.
This is all about, the family and food and stuff like that. So, it's interesting. She's showing me dairy, but I'm not like, can he not eat dairy or does he love dairy? What's the dairy thing that she's showing me? Cheese and cream.
What cream?
Cheese and cream.
Oh, I'm not sure of.
He's not lactose intolerant, is he?
Not that we know of. He eats both of those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know then, but do not be surprised if there's a reference to cheese and cream coming up with him.
Okay.
Or some sort of recipe where that's, important.
Okay. Yeah.
So much love to you from this lady.
Thank you.
Oh, she loves the family and she
Yeah.
hasn't left. So watch in photographs. I have a feeling that if you take photographs of the grandbaby and you take photographs of your father, there might be either orbs or, flashes of light or arcs of, steam kind of thing, fuzziness. That's going to be her. She wants to be in the middle of everything. She gives me the feeling of a birthday coming up. So this may be in September or early October. Birthday, anniversary of a passing. All right, my dear. Well, may I leave you
Thank
with
you.
that?
Yes,
All
thank
right.
you so much.
Take care.
Thank you.
All
You
right.
too.
And Julie, how much time do we have?
We have about 25 minutes. We're going to go till 1:15. I have a couple of questions here about communicating through. Ingrid wants to know, have you noticed a more universal type of synchronicity where departed ones attempt communication? For her, when she sees a hummingbird, she knows it's her mother communicating. When she sees a dragonfly, she knows it's her father.
Right. What spirits are starting to do is delineate their signatures. So I'm remembering I was doing a large event and I came to a lady and I said, there's a man standing behind you and he's leaning up against a pillar and he looks like Fred Astaire. And she said, oh my God, I went to another event like this and my father showed up exactly the same way. I said, that is the signature. That is, no matter what medium you go to, if a medium stands there and says, I have a guy standing against a, like a lamppost or a column looking like Fred Astaire, know that that's your father saying hello. Or if there are any Fred Astaire references, that's your father. So what I'm finding is that spirits will have these signatures. So when this shows up, we know it's this person. And that's really, really helpful because it's nice to know what spirit is doing what job and which spirit is showing up to help us with which thorny situation. And so, yes, these synchronicities will come with signatures.
Excellent. Thank you. Now I have a question coming about why spirits would not communicate. And this says too, like, why is my mother not coming to me? Or there's a specific one about why spirits would not provide details of death, especially in the case of solving an unsolved murder.
Okay.
That's very specific.
Yes. Well, number one, our spirits are always with us. However, communication can be made difficult by a number of things. And sometimes it's our own grievance. This person I loved should not have died the way he did. In those circumstances, it was wrong. So grievance or even guilt can be very difficult energies for spirit to work through. So what I often find in situations like this, and this actually happened at an event in New York City, there were two women, twins, and I came to one of the women talking with her about this young man who was standing with her, blah, blah, all of these details. It was a wonderful, we laughed, we had a great time. She was this young man's aunt. She was sitting next to her sister, who was the young man's mother. The grief of his mother was so great that he found it easier. And what had been happening was the aunt had been receiving all of these messages from her nephew. And the mother's like, what am I? Chopped liver. And we saw it played out right in front of us. And so then we moved from grievance, pain, grief. We moved into gratitude of this communication because I said we went from, he's talking with your sister way out here to he's here in the room. He's right here. It's happening real time. He is with you. And as soon as she moved into gratitude, bam, she got a personal message. Another time that this similar kind of thing happened, there was a lady in the front row of one of my events. And I don't know, I said something stupid, made everybody laugh. And then all of a sudden, I saw a man standing next to her and started talking with him, her husband. She came up to me afterwards. She said, I've been to every famous medium. And she named some of the mediums who I know personally who are really, really good mediums. She goes, none of them could bring through my husband, only you. I said, oh, no, you're missing something here. The reason you were able to have that connection is because you were laughing. And in that laughter, your husband was able to show up. In that moment of lightness, the energy was just right, that boom, he was there and I caught him. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this comedy improv thing in Hollywood on Friday night, because I knew that with laughter, you know, it's easier for spirits to communicate. It lightens the energy. And then the murder thing. Okay, so I work at the frequency of love. And at that frequency, there is not earthly justice. And the reason is that there is no justice on earth that truly restores and heals. In other words, what mediumship can bring is connection with loved ones. That's what it can bring, that reconnection. It doesn't bring justice. And spirits at the frequency of love are less interested in the machinations of their death than they are about the connection with the people that they love. And the truth of the matter is, there is no reason good enough that they can give us for a death by murder or even suicide. But murder will not make sense to us when it ends in the loss of someone we love. So the spirits go for connection rather than explanation. And I hope that helps.
Thank you.
At least for me. You know, there are some psychics who make it their business to work with police and help solve crimes. And that's an earth-based kind of connection where you're following the energy and all of that. And there are psychics who do that. But me as a medium connecting at the frequency of love, that is not the area they take me.
Can we go back to the hummingbirds and things like that?
Yeah.
Lisa's asking about other senses. She wants to know, do spirits sometimes communicate through like an olfactory signature?
That's one of the most common, by the way. And when I have taught mediumship, and I hope to start teaching again, but when I've taught mediumship, I have really worked with people to strengthen all of their senses and all of their heightened senses. So, and if anyone wants to do this, you can. So we would all go to lunch and I would say, eat your lunch as though your only sense is smell and experience the world through the sense of smell. Smell is one of our most important senses. It's how a baby finds its mother's milk. You know, it's that sense of smell is what helps us to survive. And so spirits will often use that, you know, the smell of roses, let's say, or even smoke, you know, and they will often use very characteristic smells. And so as a medium, I will smell those smells as well. So yes, olfactory.
When you did that reading for me 4 years ago, you mentioned my father and you mentioned Old Spice. Do you remember that cologne?
No, I don't even remember saying that, but yes.
No, I know, but so I went and got a bottle and put it on our ancestor altar. I'm like, you know,
yes.
Thank you for being here.
Right. So the spirits will show up with smell, sense of smell. Absolutely.
There's a question about whether loved ones have a choice to be a guide for us, to be really involved, and can they intervene in our in things in our lives?
Yes. So the overall answer is yes, but there are boundaries and limitations. So where we have free will to ignore advice and to ignore guidance, they will not intervene and prevent us from learning or changing or healing. So that's the thing. Intervention does not save us from ourselves. and our own choices, but know that everything that occurs in our lives is pointing toward healing, and they're very present with that. Yes, loved ones guide us. Animals in spirit, when I'm doing an event, will often be my guides to get me to where I need to go or where I need to start. So they're very much, guides to get me to the people. And the other thing that I've seen, which is really interesting, because for a while there was this, it was almost like the hot new thing to know your guide, to know your guide's name, to have these talk with your guides and all of that. And that's all great. But who are you really going to listen to? Some, monk running around in a robe that you never met, or your grandmother who loved you and taught you how to read? So what I started to see when it came down to guidance, so I would be sitting with a client and I would say, oh, you're here for guidance, because the spirits would say, she's here for guidance. I'd be, okay, yes, I'm here for guidance. What I would see is I would see the loved one standing next to the client, and then I would see the guide standing next to the loved one, and it'd be kind of like a game of telephone. The guide goes to the grandmother, and then the grandmother gives the guidance. It was hilarious. I'm like, this is really funny. So what I would say to that is, yes, we have guides, and they're all working together.
I love that. Because do you remember when I said, when you were here just before the pandemic, and you were at my house doing a circle reading for people, and I told you afterwards, I'm really interested in partnership. How do we partner with people who aren't in body anymore? And that's what you're talking about. And I love the creativity on the other side, how they're finding ways to communicate with us.
And it's ever expanding. This is what's exciting. My ability to do mediumship now is more exciting and thrilling for me even than it was in the beginning. And the reason is because the consciousness of people in general has expanded to the place where the spirits have more to work with.
Absolutely.
And that's really exciting. Like, they're moving us into transformation, into healing and transformation. That's exciting for me. That's why I'm really happy to be part of all of this now.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And that goes to this next question from Patricia. How do you change the frequency so we can connect to the other side and not be as earthbound, right? As down in our lower frequencies.
Okay. So the key to working with spirit is to be grounded while at the same time connected. So people seem to think in order to be connected with spirit, I've got to float out of my body somehow. I've got to sort of fly around and meet them. No, your body is your address. So being grounded and protected, they know exactly where to meet you, but you can change the frequency at which you communicate. And that's what I did. I used to do ghost busting. Boy, did I meet some very not nice people when I was ghost busting, and decided I did not want workplace harassment and wanted to only work with the best spirits in the universe, the spirits who come in love. So I started attuning myself to that frequency. So you can start listening to different frequencies. There are binaural beats. There is music at the frequency of love. You can begin to attune yourself to that frequency. Do you remember that whole thing with the water? Like, if you put the, love on the water and then take a picture of the crystals, it's all, and you put hate on the water and then it's like all these misshapen crystals, right?
Yeah,
these words, all of this very, it sets up the frequency. And so you start doing that in your life, and gratitude is really key. So remember, I was talking about gratitude then moves you into automatic connection. And so when you are there in gratitude and connection, the thing about gratitude is you are acknowledging that your life has benefited from the care and the attention of things outside yourself. That's essentially what gratitude is. And as soon as you do that, you open up and you're connected. So there are some very easy things we can do.
That's wonderful. And then just along those lines, a question about spirits visiting us in dreams.
Yes.
I think it sounds like every venue, right? Every avenue they will use.
I did a TikTok video on, do spirits come in dreams? it has, I think, over 7,000 views. That's how interested people are. And people were sharing on TikTok. Well, my mother came with me, came to me. My uncle always comes. Yeah, dreams are, and this is also addressed in my book, Everything You Wanted to Know About the Afterlife, because dreams are very important ways that spirits communicate or at least show up for us. And the reason is because we are no longer running our to-do list in our head. We're no longer trying to figure out how to drive from here or there, or what bill to pay, or, oh my God, what show to watch. So we have let down our guard. And in that space of between waking and sleeping, even, we will hear our name called. So it's not just in dreams, but in those places of silence, when the world is quiet. The spirits are just as noisy as they always are. It's just that we're more quiet. And so we can have that connection. The thing about dreams, one of the ways you're going to know it's a visitation is you'll feel it's a visitation. It will feel real. It may also be very everyday. A walk in the woods, a cup of tea at a table, very everyday, but the colors might be super intense. And do not worry if your loved ones in spirit start to cry. Do not worry. Everybody, I get messages, emails. Oh my God, my mother showed up in my dreams, but she was crying. Is she unhappy? Is something awful going to happen? No, think about it. What happens when we have a reunion with someone we haven't seen in a very long time? I don't know about you, but I'm like, I open up my arms and I burst into tears. That's often what happens. Like, oh my God, we're here together. And there's the emotion. So I hope that helps.
That's beautiful. I have a personal question for you.
Yes.
How do you turn off spirit communication when you want to live your normal personal life? How do you set your boundaries?
Oh, well, boundaries are my middle name.
Okay.
But as you saw, we opened here today with a blessing. That's like, cue the spirits. That's like, but even before we got on, I sat here and I said, spirits, I'm asking that you show up, that you give me names, you give me information so that we will have a smooth running, start to this event. Because we're going to have a lot of people. And so it's a cooperative effort. Then I open up with a blessing. I will close with a blessing. And then they know this is it. But I have to say, at this comedy event, when we were done and we were all out on the street and everybody's filing out, all of a sudden I'm hearing, Irish fiddles. And I realized, oh my God, I did not shut down the whole group. They're all standing there. I'm like, oh my God, and I'm looking, I'm like, you're Irish. And I look at this guy, go, oh my God, the Irish fiddlers are with you. He goes, yes, my family, we're Irish fiddlers. And have you seen the movie Sinners? I'm like, no, I have. You got to see it. It's my family's music, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. And I had to shut down. So I can't, even as a well-seasoned medium, I can be in a new situation and forget my routine. So, just like your dogs know, you get up in the morning, you take them out for the walk. The spirits know we open, we close, and then when you close, we're done. I didn't close. We weren't done.
Oh, that's so interesting. Somebody back in the comments, like way back, I have to scroll, said Irish music is for them, communication.
Okay, so where are you? Where's the Irish music person?
Who was talking about Irish music? And you could just unmute yourself.
Okay.
Speak.
Hello?
Is it Vicky?
Yes.
Hey, Vicky. Okay.
Hello.
So are you the Irish music person, or you have Irish music people in your background in spirit?
Yes, I did live in Ireland for some time, although I'm not Irish.
Okay, so I got to tell you, because there's a reason. This is the other thing. No, even when I'm speaking in a group like this and we're open to spirit, the very things that I share are also inspired by spirit and can be directional and healing. So Vicky, do you or the man with you have a sibling in spirit, by the way?
No.
Oh,
well. Okay.
I do.
Oh, you
do.
Yes, my husband does.
Isn't that what I just said? Or the man with you have a sibling in spirit?
Yes.
Right. So, sir, may I come to you for a second?
Go for it.
Okay. I think I will. You may be much more sensitive, sir, than you would allow people to see. Would you
I am
agree
a very
with that?
sensitive person. I know that
You're a very sensitive person, correct?
in a number of ways.
Yes. So, because as I look at you, there's a big, big heart space that you carry. And so, you have a loyalty that knows no bounds. You understand that, right? When
Yes.
you love someone, you never give up. All right. And Vicky, do you know that about him?
Yes.
Okay. This is a loyal man. You also have, sir, a small mother or a small grandmother. There's a small lady with you.
Sounds like Auntie Jean.
My mother wasn't very tall, and
Auntie Jean was small.
well, and one of my aunts was small. Depends what
Okay.
you mean by small.
Then I may have this aunt because this is a tiny lady. She would have been known to be small. She's
Yes.
tiny,
Yes.
but she's mighty. Do you
Yes.
understand?
Yes.
She's tiny, and she's also talking about a Mary or a Marie or a Mari.
Ari. So it's
Who is
actually
that?
it's actually so. This is Vicky. Tell the story.
What?
Vari.
Oh, that's
Ari.
my daughter. Yes, that's passed.
Okay. And is your daughter in spirit as well?
Yes.
Okay. So Mari is here. And do you see, I just want everyone to notice how they started giving me the name. It was like a Mary, and then they corrected, they went Mari.
It's actually Vary. It's Gaelic for Mary.
So it's spelled. Here's the spelling: Mairi.
Okay. So
And
do
it
you
was a
see they
middle
gave me
name.
Mary first? Do you see the spirits are
Yeah.
not at all flummoxed by different languages? And so when I have met with people overseas, because my book is also in Japanese, it's in Japan. So I've done events with Japanese who don't speak any English, and we've had an interpreter, a translator. And so their spirits would either have to spell out names or give me things phonetically, that kind of thing. So I just want you to know Mari's here.
Okay.
And there's a gentleness to her spirit.
Okay.
Yes.
So did you know that?
No.
Okay. And but you talk to her, do you not?
Yes.
Because she says she hears you talking with her.
Yes.
And she gives me this idea that you have envisioned her growing up.
Well, she was grown up when she
Okay.
died.
Because she talks to me about this grown up quality. Okay.
Uh-huh.
This growing up. And I'm not sure you were able to be with her when she died. Is that true?
Correct.
Because she gives me that level of separation at the end. So you may have heard about it or heard of it, that kind of thing, or received a call in some way, because she gives me that idea of a separation.
A medium told me something awful was going to happen, and on the way home in the car, we got a call from the hospital to say
Okay.
she was...
So that's what she's letting me know, that you got the call. Okay. That you got the call.
Uh-huh.
Right. She's someone who wanted to die all at once, she tells me.
Yes.
So she lived a life that was hard and fast. You understand?
Yes.
And she took risks, she's letting me know.
Yes.
So she was a risk taker in her life.
Uh-huh.
And she was one who did not want to take advice. You get that, right?
Yes.
So she would not listen to advice, even if it was in her best interest.
Yes.
She would not.
Correct.
Now, was she around people who use drugs, or did she herself do that?
Both.
Okay, because she is there with people who do drugs, and she's giving me this idea of doing drugs.
Although she was off them at the end, but yes, it's still affecting.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but she's giving me that as a time in her life when she was really feeling very lost and also very angry.
Yes.
So she carried anger in her life.
Yes.
And did she have great disappointment around her own father?
Yes.
Because she gives me heartbreak with her father.
Uh-huh. Yes.
And so that was painful for her.
Uh-huh.
I do think she loves animals because she's there with animals.
Good.
So she's surrounded by animals. She's got cats, dogs, birds, fish. She's like St. Francis or something.
Well, maybe they're mine.
Okay,
Maybe
so
they're
you love
mine.
the animals too, right?
Yes.
So she's the keeper of your animals. Do you understand? You and she's watching out for your animals who have passed. All right. Do you also know the black and white cat, Vicky, by the way?
Yes.
Because she's there with the black and white cat that
Yeah.
had a funny splotch on its nose, by the way.
I can't
So it
remember.
had this
Do you?
funny, like,
Oh,
splotch.
right, yes, there's a couple of cats like that. Maybe Joe. Yes.
Yeah, this
yes.
weird splotch. It's weird.
Yes.
The coloring on the nose. So she's
Uh-huh.
there with that cat, or maybe more that are like
Yes.
that. So she's the keeper of the animals.
Good.
She said there's a dog there that ran out and got killed, by the way. So that got loose or got killed. So she's there with that dog. And she wants you to know she was thinking of getting a tattoo. I don't know if she got it or if she had a tattoo, but she's on about a tattoo as well.
I don't know about that.
So that's okay. You don't have to know.
No.
That's what I'm saying. She may have just been thinking about it, but then she died before she did it. But she seems to like dragons for some reason. It's so funny because you're Irish, but she's showing me a Welsh dragon.
Huh.
So I don't know if there's some Welsh in this family as well.
She was Irish, but I'm Scottish.
Oh, you're Scottish. Okay.
Yes.
And she's showing me a Welsh dragon. But I know that we're talking about like different versions of the Celts. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
that's
she's
right.
now showing me
Yes.
Welsh. Okay. Scottish, Irish, Welsh. All right.
Okay.
So she is here to let you know she hasn't gone anywhere, but she truly is at peace. And it was a hard-won peace, Vicky. You understand that, right?
Yes.
It was a hard-won peace.
Very hard.
Okay. And the male with you, did you lose a sister as well? Or a younger brother? Wait a minute.
No.
It was a sister.
So my mother had a baby girl before I was born.
Okay,
who
because
passed away.
your daughter Vicky is with this younger sister, this young girl. But did you also lose a brother, sir?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
My brother's still alive.
But your mother
Okay.
had miscarriages.
Well, my brother, my mother has.
Because there's a brother with them as well. I just want you to know. A younger boy, like a little one.
Oh.
And I feel as though there was a child that was born dead in this family. So I just want to let you know we've got a boy that was born dead or a child that was born dead, the young girl. We've got your daughter, Vicky. We've got the young people are with you and they're here with music. We've got dragons. You know, we've got the Irish, we've got the Scottish, we've got the group. So much love here for you.
Good.
And may I leave you with that, my dear?
Oh, that was very nice. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. I'm glad it was nice. I like nice.
It's very nice.
So Hollister, we're going to finish up. I have one quick question, maybe one question. Maybe you could answer quickly. I don't know if you can. It's a big topic. There's a question about AI, the use of AI, people using AI to generate, people who have passed. And if you have any sense from the other side of what people who have passed think of that technology.
I don't know that yet because they haven't spoken directly to it, but spirits love technology and always have. Spirits use technology all the time. We're using it right now.
Right.
But I mean, I remember a mother had an iPod. Do you remember iPods?
Sure.
And her daughter loved Christmas music. And in the middle of the summer, her iPod starts playing Christmas music, and spirits will use photographs to show up in orbs and streaks of light and all of this kind of thing. Spirits have been using technology as soon as the technology is created. So I do not know how this is going to play out.
That's interesting, isn't it?
I am trusting, and I've had people approach me to be involved with AI technology, mediumship, and spirit communication. So I don't know yet because spirit hasn't directed me yet. So I don't know yet what my interface will be. But I only know what I know right now, which is that spirits use technology. And there's a ghost in the machine, and there's a ghost in every machine. And so what I would say always with everything is it's about the frequency at which we're working, and it is the intention in which it is being presented. The spirits at the frequency of love are always moving toward healing, not perpetuating loss and grief. And so that's what I would say. That's the delineation.
Thank you so much for that. That's a great answer. So before we close, I just want to ask you to let people know how they can contact you if they would like a reading, or if they want to know. Someone asked when you're going to be teaching again. So yeah, let us know how to get in touch.
Great. I have some very simple online courses, but I'm looking to do more in-depth courses, and I will let people know. My website is hollisterrand.com. My email is hollisterrand@gmail.com. I do in-person spirit circles. I do large events. I do online events. I do online readings and online spirit circles, and phone and in person. I will be in Santa Barbara, California, most of September. And the Spirit Circle is sold out there, but I have some privates available there. And you can always see me online, hollisterrand.com. And the book is everything you wanted to know about the afterlife, but were afraid to ask.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hollister, for doing this encore session for us. We really, really appreciate it. I think someone asked about, are some of these messages for not just one person? Clearly,
Correct.
A lot of these messages are for the whole group.
Absolutely. The spirits organize it that way. I did not choose these people. Let me be very clear that the spirits did, because they want to reach as many people as possible with the messages.
And we can really feel that. So thank you to the spirits. Thank you to you. Thank you for everyone.
I see the hearts at the frequency of love.
That's
Yes.
wonderful, for spending this time with us on your Sunday. So
thank you.